to eliminate parasites from your body. There are some strong herbs that can do that, and that's black walnut and wormwood and oregano essential oil, and often you can buy a tablet or capsules with those herbs in it.
And these herbs help stimulate the liver to regrow and to recover. Cancer cannot get a hold on the body if the liver's working in optimum performance. And one liver herb that many people don't realise it is the lemon. We need to have a knowledge of nature's remedial agencies and how to apply them.
Whether you get sick or have some kind of chronic disease, it almost always means one thing: a huge medical bill that will haunt you for a long time. But what if I told you that you could skip all that and have a healthier life from things out of your garden? That's exactly what Barbara O'Neill teaches you every day. You see, the naturopath strongly believes that your body is more than capable of healing itself. All you have to do is provide it with the right ingredients and conditions.
You see, the human body was designed to heal itself, and it'll heal itself if you give it the right conditions.
Barbara herself acknowledges the significance of medicines. However, she says that you shouldn't solely rely on them for every small thing. Instead, you could use a more natural way to treat yourself, as not only is it cheaper, but it also enables your body to become stronger rather than relying on drugs to do their job whenever they are needed. The importance of herbs in self-healing. Herbal or natural treatment methods have existed since the beginning of time, and Barbara strongly believes that God has provided everything necessary for healing in nature. In Psalm 104:14, God said that He gave herbs for the service of man to serve us, and if you see it with a more keen eye, you'd find it to be true as well. From herbs that can treat your rashes or burns to herbs that can take care of your pains, you are surrounded by better alternatives, and you don't even know it.
In page 127 of the Ministry of Healing, I believe is the recipe for healing. It's got everything that we need. It starts by saying the only hope of better things is the education of the people in the right principles.
She also mentions Psalm 119:73, which says, "Thy hands have made me and fashioned me. Give me understanding, that I may learn thy commandments." What she basically means by that is that God made our bodies, He fashioned us, and He has provided us with the tools to keep our bodies healthy as well. So what are these herbs and natural remedies that you must have at home? Let's find out. Starting with aloe vera.
Most homes have aloe vera. If they don't, they should.
Now that's something that you'd find in almost any garden or even in the wild sometimes. We've also seen it being used in a lot of beauty creams as well as medicinal creams. So why don't we use it in its natural form? Well, Barbara is here to tell you that you can and you should. According to her, aloe vera is an amazing herb for self-healing, and the main reason for this is that it's a growth stimulant. She claims that you can use it both internally and externally for healing. Suppose you have ulcers in your gut. You can simply eat some of it, and it will go inside your gut and form a protective barrier against the acid. That way, you won't feel the burns from the ulcers. Plus, its healing properties will help you recover from those ulcers much quicker than you normally would.
Do you know that Crohn's, irritable bowel, ulcers, do you know they're the easiest things to heal? Because the cells that line the gastrointestinal tract, they're remade every 3 to 5 days.
And the benefits don't end there. You can use it on your skin to keep it moisturized, and if you have burns, rashes, or any other injury, you can use it topically. Its healing powers will help you recover much quicker. How cool is that? So, how can you use it? If you have a burn on your skin, you can simply cut out a leaf, strip away the thorns, cut that leaf in the middle, and you'll be left with 2 sides that will have the gel on them. Next, you can simply place it on the burn, making sure the gel side is on the skin, and bandage it to secure it in place.
I've just shown you, and we just placed this, see that beautiful slime? And we just placed it, and I wanted to show you how we placed it. Can you see we did a small bit down? So we did it like a jigsaw. So the small bit there and up, and the small bit there and up. And so the whole, but I'm going to take it off for a minute and you can see that beautiful.
Another thing you could do is cut the leaf, put it in a jar, and let it rest for an hour. This would force the yellow slime to seep out, and you would want to throw that away, as it's not good for you. Then you can cut it in half and scoop out the gel, and it's ready for use. Barbara praises a lot is Comfrey.
Comfrey. Comfrey contains a growth stimulant. So it stimulates rapid healing in the tissues. In fact, its nickname is knit bone.
Just like aloe, comfrey is another herb that we often overlook, but it has hidden growth stimulants inside. These growth stimulants give it healing properties that are so amazing that it has earned itself the nickname knitbone. Barbara claims that this herb promotes rapid healing in bones, ligaments, tendons, and skin. She gave her example of a time when she tore her supraspinatus tendon, and she couldn't sleep or even sit in peace for days because of the pain. When she went to the doctor, they said that they'd never seen it heal on its own, and she would need it to be surgically stitched. So what did Barbara do? Well, she used comfrey poultices for several hours twice a day, and soon enough, the tendon healed on its own, and the pain had gone away. She has even shared the right way to make a poultice at home as well.
And what you can do is you can get a mortar and pestle and you've got to get the juice coming out of it. Or you can finely chop it, put it in a cloth, and then get the rolling pin and pour a little bit of, you've got to get that juice coming out. And my husband got very good at wrapping me up, very hard to wrap up a shoulder. He would make it go, the bandage go under this arm and around this arm. So twice a day. I could get 8 out of 10 pain down to 2 out of 10 by putting that poultice on and taking high dose turmeric.
All you have to do is put a leaf in a mortar and pestle, and grind it so the juice is coming out, or chop it down into small pieces. Next, you wrap these ground herbs in a cloth, place it over your fractured bone or torn ligament, and let it stay for a few hours, and you'll be better in no time. However, you should keep in mind that comfrey should never be ingested, as it contains toxic chemicals that can severely harm your liver, or, in extreme cases, cause death. Next up on the list is cayenne pepper.
It does 3 main things internally in the blood. It thins the blood, it strengthens the arterial walls, and it opens the capillaries.
You might be wondering, wouldn't a pepper cause more burning in the context of healing? But cayenne pepper has some amazing properties that actually help a lot when it comes to healing. Just like aloe vera, you can use it both internally and externally. The properties that make it such an amazing medical herb are its ability to increase blood flow, dilate vessels, thin the blood, and potentiate the effects of other herbs. You can use it if you have heart problems, as it will thin your blood without causing any gut ulcers like aspirin would. And speaking of gut ulcers, this nifty herb can also help you recover from them fast, as it increases the blood flow and nutrient flow to the damaged parts. This ability can also be used to heal peripheral neuropathies externally with a poultice. When you apply the poultice, it will increase the blood flow to that part of your body, and the rate of healing will increase as well. Just remember not to use it on an open wound, otherwise it will sting you a lot.
In fact, it's just about a first aid kit in one, is the cayenne pepper, and you'll get used to it.
To make a cayenne poultice, you take a paper towel and fold it in half. Next, you'll put that over a sheet of plastic and lightly dab some olive oil on it. Sprinkle some crushed cayenne pepper on the towel, and your poultice is ready to go. Moving on, the next herb on the list is turmeric. While it is famous for being used in cooking, turmeric has some secret healing properties as well.
There is another herb that you can take on the inside to get inflammation down, and that's turmeric. Turmeric's a very powerful herb internally to get the inflammation down.
How often or how much?
So, a teaspoon 3 times a day.
Sure.
Reducing inflammation is the core property of any herb that can help with healing. Turmeric does that by lowering the levels of 2 enzymes in the body that cause inflammation. Moreover, it stops the platelets from clumping together to form blood clots. It is also a powerful antioxidant that can remove the free radicals in your body. If these free radicals are left in the body, they can mess with the cell structure and even cause DNA mutations, which can lead to cancer. Barbara claims that when used internally, turmeric can help you against gut ulcers, as it removes inflammation, and its ability to reduce clots can help against heart diseases as well.
So, a teaspoon 3 times a day.
Sure.
If it's the fresh turmeric, you would triple that dose. If it's dried, then you bring it back.
But when you use it externally in the form of a poultice, this herb can treat any kind of pain. Whether it is a bad knee, back pain, or even arthritis, This herb can reduce the inflammation and the pain so you can rest or move in peace. There's even been some research that supports this claim as well. She also says that if you have suffered from a fracture, this herb can speed up the healing process. You could eat it raw, but the best part of this herb is that you can use it in your meals, and it will help you out just as much. Lastly, we have ginger. Now, this is another herb that you'll find easily in your kitchen, but how does it help you heal? Barbara has given a lot of praise for this herb and the anti-inflammatory properties that it possesses. She claims that, unlike normal painkillers, ginger doesn't take away the pain in an instant. Instead, it takes the inflammation away from the joint. And to see if it's working, all you have to do is check the skin around the area. And if it's warm, then that means the ginger is working.
Ginger is a very powerful anti-inflammatory herb. And what you want to use is the juice. So there's quite a bit of juice coming out of this frozen ginger. So where you would use this, maybe this is a poultice for a toe that's got gout. Maybe this is for an arthritic finger.
You can get the benefits of this herb by taking it either internally or externally. Like turmeric, you can make it a part of your meals or take it raw. And when you use it externally, simply use a poultice. Just remember to use frozen ginger, as it's easier to extract its juices.
See, ginger doesn't keep, if you're going to have it for weeks, it's good to freeze it. But frozen ginger can be grated quite well.
According to Barbara, you should strap this poultice on the inflamed area and leave it for 2-3 hours a day. This gives the ginger enough time to draw out the inflammation from your arthritic joints. And if you are using it before sleep, just leave it overnight. However, you should know that if you leave it on for too long, it might do more harm than good, as the heat might become too overbearing or even damage the skin. Moreover, it can worsen the inflammation and pain. Knowing when and where to use these herbs is great, but you know what's better? Having them at your disposal whenever you need them. You can achieve that by growing them in your garden. The best part is that you can easily grow them in your kitchen garden, and they will be completely organic as well.
It doesn't take over the garden. All my flowers, they're all, in fact, I've got a strange garden. I've got roses, and I've got celery, and I've got kale, and I've got pansies, and I've got weeds that people think are weeds, all growing all through my garden. They're the gardens I love.
Besides that, you should also listen to your body. Your body is constantly talking to you through messages that come in the form of symptoms. If your body doesn't react to something nicely, you should probably avoid that. If something is doing wonders, then maybe continuing it would be a good option. But always remember that excess of anything is bad, so do it in moderation. And after all that, if you still don't want to take our word for it, listen to how Barbara treated her patient with nothing but herbs. One such story is about how one patient came to her with severe burns on her arms.
And so I met with her the next day, and when I saw her arm, the inside, a lot of the skin was basically falling off, and this was the area that her doctor had told her would have to have a skin graft. So I'm going to show you what we did, and we had a few helpers. The burn was over the arm, but it was most seriously there. So I cut the aloe as I've just shown you, and we just placed this, see that beautiful slime? And we just placed it. And I wanted to show you how we placed it. Can you see we did a small bit down? So we did it like a jigsaw. So the small bit there and up, and the small bit there and up. And so the whole, but I'm going to take it off for a minute, and you can see that beautiful covering that it gives. But what we found is if you take the skin off and just use the gel and bandage it up, it starts to dry it on the edges.
The doctors had given skin grafts as the last option, but she had other ideas. You see, she simply cut an aloe vera leaf in half and applied it to the burn for some time, and the patient was able to recover from it naturally. As we discussed earlier in the video, your body is more than capable of healing itself, and you can control your health for good by using these natural remedies. As you implement them in your life, you'll soon start to realize that your body is much more prepared for any type of sickness. Something that used to worry you a lot will be nothing more than a problem of the past. Lastly, you should always keep in mind her 8th law of health, which is trust in God. Your body can heal itself, but it's better if you have faith not only in your body's abilities, but also in God's provisions. Remember, If you are more thankful and have a more positive mindset, your body will show positive results as well.
When we surrender our minds and our hearts to God, asking for His guidance, He will send the Spirit of truth. And that Spirit of truth helps us to discern right from wrong.
That's it for this video, folks. Have you ever used any herbal remedies in your life? If not, which one will you use? Let us know in the comments. And if you want even more of her wisdom, you can read her book, Self-Heal by Design.